Gen Z didn't become lazy. We became aware. We work harder than ever, but somehow, it's still never enough. Entry-level jobs pay barely enough to survive. Rent keeps rising. Groceries keep rising. Bills keep rising. But salaries barely move. We were told to go to school, get a degree, get a job, and everything would fall into place. And yet here we are, exhausted, overworked, and still financially unstable. TNW -5 isn't even a 9 to 5 anymore. Emails after hours. Slack messages on weekends. Bosses expecting availability at all times. Work-life balance. A myth society calls us lazy. You don't want to work, they say, but they ignore the fact that working full-time still doesn't cover your life. We're not against work. We're against being trapped in a system that doesn't value us. Mental health over promotions. Time over titles. Life over burnout. We were raised on hustle culture. Grind harder. Sleep when you're dead. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it. But grinding doesn't matter if the system is broken. We watched older generations work non-stop and still struggle. We watched parents burn themselves out for decades with little to show for it. So we started questioning everything. Why give your life to a job that doesn't give you security? Why sacrifice your happiness for a system that doesn't reward loyalty? The 9 to 5 system isn't designed for humans. It's designed for profit. Gen Z wants freedom, flexibility, autonomy, not just a paycheck that barely pays the bills. We're tired of being told, you'll figure it out eventually. We are figuring it out. We're just not willing to trade our mental health for a paycheck. Freelancing, remote work, cyber, hustles, content creation, entrepreneurship. We're experimenting, not because it's easy, but because the old way doesn't work. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. We've seen too many people burn out before 30. We've seen lives consumed by jobs that don't care about them, and we're refusing to let it happen to us. We want jobs that let us live, not jobs that let us exist. We want employers who value our time, not just our labor. We want a life, not just a title. If you feel exhausted just thinking about Monday, you're not alone. Most of us are overworked. Most of us are underpaid. Most of us are undervalued. And most of us don't see a clear path forward. Gen Z is redefining success. It's not about climbing the corporate ladder. It's about building a life that doesn't burn you out. It's not about showing up for a company that doesn't care. It's about showing up for ourselves. And that scares a lot of people, because they've never seen a generation prioritize well-being over work. They think refusing the grind is laziness, but it's not. It's awareness. We've watched people devote decades to a job that didn't care if they survived it. And we said, we won't do that. Gen Z wants meaning in work, not just survival. We want time to travel, create, rest, and grow. We want freedom to pursue multiple passions, not just one corporate ladder. And if that means changing jobs every few years, that's fine. If that means building a side hustle while working remotely, that's fine. If that means turning a passion into a career, that's fine, because life is too short to spend it trapped in a cubicle. We want balance, not burnout. We want security, not slavery. We want to thrive, not just exist, and we're willing to fight for it. That's why so many Gen Zers leave jobs without having another lined up. That's why many of us freelance while working a full-time job. That's why so many of us prioritize mental health above promotions. We're not quitting. We're resisting. We're saying no to a system that doesn't value us. We're saying yes to ourselves. We don't hate work. We hate being treated like machines. We don't hate responsibility. We hate being expected to sacrifice everything for a system that doesn't care. We don't hate ambition. We hate having it wasted on a broken system. TNW-5 isn't broken because of Gen Z. It's broken for Gen Z, and we're not afraid to show it. If this feels familiar, it's because most of us feel the same way. We're not lazy. We're aware. We're not entitled. We're exhausted, and we're not going back to a system that refuses to respect us. Gen Z is changing work culture. Whether older generations like it or not, we're redefining what it means to work hard. It's not about ours. It's about purpose. It's not about burnout. It's about balance. It's not about loyalty to a company. It's about loyalty to ourselves. We work, we create, we build, but we don't sacrifice our lives to do it, and that's what makes us different. If you feel this way, you're not alone. Subscribe, because we talk about Gen Z life, work, money, and culture every day.